I am muted. Hey guys, and welcome to the Bayern View. Hopefully everybody's doing well. You know what? I thought, we're not doing the 5-minute time. I can't be dealing with that. So we're getting straight into this. WrestleMania is coming up very, very soon. So yeah, man, we got to get into it, even though I love singing those songs, even though I'm hella ill. Anyway, we are here. We are here to talk about Kim Min-jae, look king, likely to leave Bayern Munich, which is absolutely amazing. That's the rage face. The rage face on the thumbnail isn't because I'm angry or anything like that. No. Please take him. We don't want none of your players, Gio. I know you're going to try and pawn off some of your crap players for us. No. Kim Min-jae and nothing else. For money and nothing else. But yeah, as you can see, I am in here with the main man himself, Giovanni. And Juve Corner Cast. Make sure you check him out. It's in the link is in the description and it is in the title. Go and subscribe to him. He's on 1.1k now. He deserves a lot more than that. So yeah, bless up to him. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it, mate. I know you did a video, if I'm right by saying earlier today on this on your channel. Yeah. What we thinking?
Yeah, no, I mean, Kim Min-jae coming to Juventus, I was actually surprised because, he was at Napoli, and I would think that sometimes Napoli, players wouldn't want to come to Juve because, we all know how their fans are as well. They don't like Juventus, and there's like a lot of friction and tension between our fan bases. So, I mean, I understand that, but in terms of Kim Min-jae, I mean, I've seen him. He hasn't been looking the best since his Napoli days. I think his first season at Bayern wasn't bad, but then his last 2 seasons were just awful. And I think also with Kim Min-jae, I mean, it worked well because I think he fit in the right system. Under company, I just think that is just not working for him at all. I think if he comes to Serie A, I think that it would be way better for him to really adapt to the squad. That's one, because we're more of a defensive place type, football basically. I think that's what basically all of Italy is where we're mostly like that defensive type of football. But yeah, no, I mean, it all depends on what the offer is going to be. Of course, is it going to be a loan? Because I'm hearing loans with an option or obligation. Or is Juventus going to really pull out the cash for Kim Min-jae? I'm not so sure what's happening in terms of that yet until I find probably out more from more sources on my end. I mean, I'm not sure what Bayern, if there's any Bayern sources that are saying about the financial prices or if there's anything that's going to be happening between that. But definitely, of course, I do want to talk about that. But Answer are no, 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 and no. We're not giving you this, all right? We're not giving you our best players for Kim Min, bitch, all right, bro? Listen, I still going to call him bitch, even if he's coming to my club, okay? That guy, listen, if that guy, listen, and not just that, but listen, I have Lloyd Kelly on my team. I mean, listen, Kim can't be that bad, all right? Kim cannot be that bad. Kim, all right, guys? Kim cannot be that bad. But, yeah, but other than that, no, they can have him if we can have Bremer. No, that's not true. I don't think Bremer doesn't want to leave Juve. I don't think it would really work. I mean, listen, if we could do a swap deal with Lloyd Kelly, and we
No,
could
no,
get
no,
him,
no, no,
that would be
no,
a steal.
no, 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 no.
That would be
No
a
swap
steal.
deals.
Hey, that would be a steal. I'm telling you guys, that would be a steal.
Yeah,
That
for
would be a
you
steal.
guys, we'd end up with another shit player. Fuck that.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually does well in the Bundesliga. Imagine.
Yeah, he could do well in the Bundesliga for a team like Stuttgart, bruv, not us.
Yeah, but of course, no. I mean, in terms of, I think Kim Min-jae, I wouldn't mind him at Juve. Even though, I mean, we've seen him against Inter when in the Champions League for Bayern, right? We've seen him against all the other teams like Dortmund. We've seen how defensively this season he's just been not there. His concentration is like gone. But I think with Kim coming back to the Serie A, would especially if Conte arrives, at Juve, he could make him into a beast, because that's what Conte loves to do. If he comes to Juve, you already know it's gonna be completely different. I don't think he's as bad as Lloyd Kelly. Come on. I mean, you listen. I have to deal with Lloyd Kelly at the back. I'd rather have Kim, honestly, because who knows.
To be fair, I do agree with you in the fact of we've seen what happened versus Real Madrid against Vinicius Junior. We've seen what happened this season versus Inter, and so many games he's been terrible for us. But, and it is a but, because he is in a Bayern Munich system. He is in a company system, and company knows one way, just like a lot of the Pep disciples, and that is attack, attack, attack. And you've said this, Zia says this, everyone that speaks about Italian football, no matter if it's clubs or country, they are more defensive minded. So, yeah, I think he would work for most teams in Italy, to be honest with you. Again, back to Napoli, Inter, obviously none of these teams need him, but in that way. So, yeah, Juventus being linked to him. Obviously, I'm excited because I want him out my club. The only thing that does scare me, though, is, we do have one of the most backwards boards in world football. So, I'm scared who they're going to get. It would be my luck that they're going to get, I don't know, Maguire or something. But yeah, for like, I do agree with you in that aspect of like, he is very good in that sense. Like, you are when you're defensive minded, like obviously we'll talk about it in just a second and I'll get your opinion because you know way more than I do. But Conte, for instance, that's the guy you're being linked with, of coming in as the manager, and like he will make Kim better. And I'm sure straight away it's going to be like, oh, Bayern wasn't right for Kim, the Bundesliga, Bayern, blah, 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 and we've been saying this for a long time, the fact that Kim would work more in a defensive team, but Bayern will never be a defensive team, no matter who the manager is, because even with Thomas Tuchel, it didn't work. It just didn't work because we still had to attack, even though Thomas Tuchel had it in a weird way where, at one point he played Leon Goretzka at centre back and we were all like, what's going on? Yeah, no, I'm with you 1000%. On Conte coming in though, obviously you need to, that sounded really rude. You need to tell us. No, but like, can you tell us or tell everybody in here, like, number one, what do you think of Conte coming back? And also, do you think Kim Min-jae would work in a Conte system?
Well, I mean, of course, my thoughts of Conte coming back is going to be, of course, memories for sure. It's going to be like a little bit of a heart-warmed welcome, kind of, I would say. It's going to be also awkward, too, because he coached, he's Inter, Napoli, trying to keep, bringing them back to compete for titles is always something to keep in the back of your head, right? But I can't forget what he did for us in the past, winning us 3 straight titles, making us competitive again. creating this winning cycle, which was I think the biggest thing that we've seen. And he really was the mastermind that really started this whole Juventus dynasty when we started winning. So no, for sure I have mixed feelings, but I think that with Conte coming back, definitely I think will do very well, especially with the team that he will have at disposal as well, because we have talented players at disposal. And I think that he could do very well at Juve, bring us back to winning ways, and I think that's the right thing to do. Because I think Juve needs to come back. It's time. It's time for Juve to come back and challenge Inter for the title, and it will happen in another 1 or 2 years. Juventus will be there for the title. It's just a matter of time. But especially if Conte comes back, that's going to be a crazy alarm bell for the whole league, because Conte is I think the only guy so far. I mean, listen, I don't want to say nothing about Tudor, because we don't even know what's happening with Tudor, if he's actually going to stay or not. So that's why I'm actually doing a live later, to see what's happening in terms of the news and what's happening in terms of that. And then your second question about Kim fitting into a Conte system, I 100% think that he could. Because listen, what Conte is doing at this Napoli team is a miracle. And if I'm saying a miracle, it's crazy, because I think without Conte, this Napoli team wouldn't even be challenging for the title. They're actually tied on points at the moment, with Inter. But without Conte, they wouldn't even be competing nor near that title race. I'm telling you. Because I would say, yes, in my opinion, I think that Napoli's a little bit of drop-off was because they sold Cavara and never replaced them. But the thing is, also with Conte and Kim as well, we could go back to that. Conte and Kim, I feel like that he does well with defenders. We've seen it with with Chiellini, Bonucci, but we had, we had Barzaghi as well at Juve. We had the three guys, the BBC. So, we had those guys as well at our disposal, and he made them into monsters. He can make into like a Bremer and Kim. Imagine that, and oh my gosh, like in my opinion, I could just see Kim Min-jae, Bremer, and whoever else is going to be as a third one. I forgot. And Kalulu, for example. I could imagine that. That is a scary defense. I don't care what anybody says. That's a scary defense, especially in Serie A. That's a scary, scary defense, man. This guy Catalan in the chat. Oh my god. But no, Ansar Gatti. I just saw your comment about Gatti. Gatti's might be leaving to Napoli. Is there news about that he actually might be gone? But I think in terms of that, hey, why not, man?
Before we carry on with the Kim Min-jae news, because I do want to react to certain news that's come out on social media and then get your opinion on it. But before that, as we're talking about Juventus and so on and so forth, and I know you're going to be doing your live show later.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll pop in when there's a dead match on WrestleMania, because there's some of them that are going to be shit. But no, generally, like with Conte coming in, and obviously he's rumored to be the guy and blah 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 blah. Where does that put you? Because I've heard Nino, I heard Reno. Is that how you say his name?
Yep.
And I've heard you personally all say that you might get Osimhen, right? Yep. Now Osimhen does not get on with Conte, so that ain't gonna happen. We all know that ain't gonna happen. So, like, if you keep the manager you got now or go for somebody else, maybe you do get him. But if you go with Conte, as it looks like it's going to happen, does that mean you're going to bring in Romelu Lukaku?
No, the fans won't allow it. We've had this with this Lukaku situation before, and the whole fans actually protested in the stadium. We almost caused a riot in our own stadium, which was crazy. Lukaku. Definitely would not be a Juve player at all. The management knows already. It's the same management that even dealt with that protest. So Lukaku to Juventus will most likely not even happen if Conte comes, because they're definitely, it's probably going to be on the thing, because we all know Conte. He will be looking for Lukaku to come back. But Lukaku for me, he's a decent player in Serie A. Don't get me wrong. He was one time, I would say, one of the best strikers in Serie A when he was at Inter. But I think his time is done. I think Conte needs to look for a different type of striker, go abroad, and get somebody else that you could really link with. And I would say do something with. Hey, listen, we don't really know if
Hurricane.
no Harry
Harry
Kane. No,
yeah.
please. Oh my gosh, that's all I need is Harry Kane after Vlahovic being on my team. But no, I mean I just think that with Conte, we could get somebody. I mean, listen, I don't even think it's Conte's fault that Osimhen left. He didn't want Osimhen to leave in the first place.
Okay.
The only reason why he left was Osimhen left was because of the management was De Laurentiis from Napoli, the owner. They had like a big tension. That's exactly why I said watch out for Napoli's president and Conte, because them two they're like fire. You're messing with fire and fire basically, and it's gonna be it's gonna clash heads. And this is exactly what happened. I don't know if you need to go watch and anybody's in the chat, go watch Conte's last press conference before the Monza game. You will hear him say lots of things. We don't know how Conte likes to talk, but usually when he's talking like that, he's ready to leave. And not just that, but he's probably pissed off that they sold Kovar and not even replaced him during January. Because imagine if he loses the title. If they lose the title, in my opinion, he's coming right away to Juve. If they win, I don't know yet. It's gonna be tough.
So okay. So that shows obviously that I don't keep up with Italian news and so on. So if that's the case, do you still think you would get Osimhen then?
Yeah, I still think Juventus had the priority. We're gonna go for Osimhen for sure. We're gonna be there, I think, till the end. For sure. Juventus is reportedly gonna actually spend 200 million this summer, which is scaring me a lot because my damn sporting director, my damn board, we don't even. I mean, listen, I have to give him props when I give him. He got Thuram, he got a couple of these other good players, like Kalulu as well. But my gosh, like you cannot be doing mistakes like Lloyd Kelly again, Alberto Costa, a couple other guys. But Osimhen really likes the club supposedly as well, and there's already context between Juntli and Osimhen already. Okay. So let's see what happens. I think our biggest competitor, I think only in my opinion, is going to be PSG. PSG for Osimhen is going to be tough. Barca, I think they're going to go after Isak more than Osimhen. That's what I've been hearing for Barcelona. But
I know that they're being heavily linked with Jonathan David.
Yeah, well. Jonathan David as well. I know Jonathan David's also linked with us, which not so much on him. Yeah, not so much on him for Juve. But
what about Colomwani? Would you keep him or not?
Nah, Colomwani, no. I think is going to go back to PSG because PSG are going to want like 75 billion. We're not spending it. We're not doing that again.
Oh right, okay, they're going to want big bucks.
Yeah, they're going to want big bucks for him. But there's other guys as well. Cambiaso.
Yeah, what about Cambiaso leaving?
That is going to be an issue for Juve. There is reports of it, but Cambiaso is saying already that he wants to stay at Juve. But Juventus is looking like if it's a 60 million, 70 million offer, that Juventus might take it. Which in my opinion doesn't make any sense because then why would the president Elkan, right, for Juve say in the press that he wants to build an Italian Juve? That he wants to build like bring back a lot of the Italian stars, right, that we once had, basically, and bring them up again. That's why we're also linked with Calafiori again as well. If we don't get Kim Min-jae, which is like for me, I'm like Calafiori would do wonders in my opinion. He would do wonders because he's a good defender. I think in Serie A. He hasn't worked at Arsenal in my opinion, but
yeah. Question would be like, will they sell him though?
Will they sell Cambiaso? For me, it's 50-50. If the club wants him to go, the player is most likely going to probably accept. But I don't. We don't really know what the details are. There's still not an offer that has been made yet. If an offer is going to be made, especially if it's around 60 to 70 million, I think Juventus will take it. And if Juventus takes it, I think the deal, unless Cambiaso, if Cambiaso really wants to stay at Juve, that's probably the only way that he could stay, in my opinion. And so far, it is what it is right at the moment. Cambiaso wants to stay at Juve. And there's also good relationships, especially after Motta left. The only reason why Cambiaso actually wanted to even think about Man City was because of Motta. So, but now Motta's gone. So it's completely different, No,
I get you. Right. Well, let's get back on to talking about Min-jae though. Yeah. I know to everybody that's in here, we're gonna raid Zia after this. I don't even know if he's live because we're doing a WrestleMania stream. But when Gio does do his stream, he's going to send me the link. and we will definitely talk more on his channel. Big up to Eunice as well. Bless up, bro. I seen that you got the win, bro. That was stressful for you, man. But yeah, you got the win. Anyway, let's go back into talking about Min-jae. So yeah, let's go for it. I'll read it. I'll give my opinion, then we'll get your opinion, Gia. So this was the first initial report. So several Premier League clubs, including Chelsea and Newcastle, have contacted the management of Kim Min-jae to inquire about a potential summer transfer. A Serie A club is also interested, which is obviously you guys. And then it goes on to say that Kim is open to a Premier League move. So yeah, I basically had my say on this. Basically, I want him gone. I don't care where he goes. He could go to Newcastle, Chelsea. With all due respect, he could go back to the Korean League. I don't care where he goes, as long as he goes. And I was before you turned up to Omar's stream yesterday, I was saying to Nino in the chat, I would take a bag of crisps for him and Kane. Like I just need them out of the team. Now, obviously, they're going to want money and so on, but yeah. So there's that one. Let me remove this off the screen just a second, and I'll find the next one. Now, this is one of the reasons why Bayern Munich seem to be looking to get rid of him, which goes on to say, due to the weak defensive performance recently, the injuries and uncertainty around Kim Min-jae and Upamecano, Bayern are now reconsidering their plans and exploring the market for a centre-back who would be the new defensive boss / leader of the back line. Now, me personally, I want Upper to stay. There is news on Upper in the fact that, you know, the reason he hasn't signed a brand new deal yet is because he's asking for too much money. They don't think he's worth that much money, blah, blah, blah. And they're negotiating. At the same time, though, we don't know if he's going to come back and be the bozo Upper Maguire, or if he's going to come back and be Upper Maldini, as I was calling him for a while this season. So, which I know is still rash, but you know what I mean. He was doing really, really well, but he got injured. Kim, again, we've said in the stream, we want rid of him, so on and so forth. But the new defensive boss or leader of the back line, I don't know if that would be Hudson, or how you say his name, the Bournemouth centre-back, because he's super young. You know, obviously, I know why he left Juventus. You told me why he was asking, you know, to start every game, and you were like, "Bro, you're basically 5 years old, bro. You're not starting for Juventus." And yeah, that's obviously why he's pushed his way out, and obviously now he's at Bournemouth. Do I want him? Yes. Would he be a defensive boss? I don't know. And this is where it scares me a little bit, because obviously you spoke about your board being fraudulent with all of that money. And we're on the same, you know, wavelength. You know, Eric Dyer plays for Bayern Munich. Harry Kane plays for Bayern Munich. Yao Pellegrini, in my opinion, you know, is crap. Goretzka, Sane, he's about to get a brand new deal, which in itself is absolutely bonkers. So yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, that is what is being said, and one of the reasons why I actually think we are, you know, exploring getting rid of him. Before anyone's like, that's not about Kim Min-jae. That was the point. Now, yesterday, the 18th, it's about to be 2 days ago. This was put out there by Politico, who is very, very well known in Germany. He works for Sky Germany, and basically, he was the guy that was adamant that Harry Kane was signing when it looked like the deal was off. And obviously we did end up getting him. And then he also broke the Sadio Mané news when we bought him out of nowhere. So yeah, what's coming out is saying Chelsea, Newcastle, Juventus are interested in Kim Min-jae. A summer departure is a possibility. So yeah, there's that. Again, that was, like I was saying, 2 days ago. Well, a day ago, but 2 days ago. And then the one that I'm actually wanting to get your opinion on, if I can find it. What have I done? 1 second, bear with me. I've done the wrong thing. Where is it? It come from an Italian source. That's why I want to get your point on it. Okay, here it is. So this was put up an hour ago. So yeah, this is what was put up. So it says here, Juventus are planning to strengthen their back line this summer and are interested in signing Kim Min-jae. should he decide to leave Bayern. Now, if I'm right by saying Gazzetta dello Sport, or however you say it, is a Italian source, if I'm right by saying. So yeah, what is your opinion on them putting this out?
Gazzetta dello Sport, not usually a Juve fan, in terms of really getting the best Juventus news.
Okay.
But I feel like that sometimes when Gazzetta dello Sport talks about the transfers, that sometimes it could be true. This one looks more realistic because Juventus is looking to strengthen their back line because got the rumors of Gatti leaving, the rumors of probably getting rid of Kelly already. Rumors of getting a couple other players out, especially with Renato Vega not going to be, because he's on loan at Juve, he probably won't get, purchased. So Juventus is going to be looking for that defender for sure. And Kim Min-jae definitely is going to be on the list for defenders, because he's already proved it at Serie A. And I would say for the source to be this reliable, I would need to see a little bit more from not just from Gazzetta, but a couple other Italian journalists or other sports papers. But it's a good start. Usually, it starts all from Gazzetta dello Sport, and then it gets deeper once it gets to like some of the Italian journalists and a couple others. So I believe this one. This one stands more out because when it's Juventus going after something that we need, I think this is true. So for sure, Juventus is going to be, of course, trying to get Kim Min-jae for sure.
Yeah. No, 1,000. So yeah, there we go, people. There's Gio knows a lot more about Italian football than probably most of us put together. Considering obviously he is Italian. But obviously, if you can't tell that by his name being called Giovanni, then you're under a rock. And of course, the club is obviously Juventus, who are in Italy and one of the biggest, if not the biggest, clubs in Italy. So yeah. Final thoughts before we do end on Kim Min-jae, and my opinion and question: what would now? Don't worry about Bayern here, Gio.
Mm-hmm.
Worry just about Juve. What would you want? Now, it's not our money. Loads of people. I'm sure you'll get comments if you haven't already saying,
"Yeah,
it's not your money. Why are you moaning? Blah 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 blah." But at the same time, what would you hope? Like, you don't want to spend 200 million on him, of course.
Yeah,
That would be nuts. But like, what are you expecting if you do go on to sign him? You get in for him, or get in him for, shall I say?
Well, listen, if it's gonna be the details, if it's gonna be a loan, of course I would take it. But if I have to put numbers out there, I would say at least 40 million. 40 million would be probably the minimum I think I would spend on Kim Min-jae until he proves otherwise, or even 30. 30 to 40 million is my price for Kim, because listen, he has proved that he's a winner in the past. He's won a lot of things. So, and in my opinion, he's way better than Lloyd Kelly. And Lloyd Kelly, we bought him for like what, 15, 20 million. So yeah, I'm definitely putting Kim over that. So that's why I said 30 to 40 for sure. I think that I think Kim Min-jae, in my opinion, will probably come to Juve if things on our end, like if something happens with Gatti or something happens with Vega, because we're not even sure what's going to happen with Vega. So I could definitely see Kim Min-jae coming to Juve for sure, definitely.
So with the loan, I haven't seen anything personally saying anything about a loan. But okay, with a loan, would that be with an option or with an obligation?
Honestly, for me, I wouldn't care. I would say both. If it was going to be a loan, I would probably say both. Because Kim Min-jae, we know how he is, and I know that he'll come back to Serie A, especially if we get a manager like Conte or even Tudor. Tudor, in my opinion, would do a very good job with Kim Min-jae for sure. But if we get Conte would make this guy into one of the craziest center backs in Italy again, for sure.
Yeah, because on my perspective, from a Bayern standpoint, if you're loaning him, cool, I'm absolutely fine with that. But for me, it has to be obligation, because obviously an option, the guy could get injured, for instance, have like a ACL injury or a hamstring injury or some bullshit like that, be out for the whole season, and then we have to deal with him again. So yeah, for me personally, of course, I just want to see the back of the guy. Pause. And I want him to, piss off, to be honest with you. But yes, it definitely is an interesting one to see what happens. Newcastle, I don't think he would work in the Prem. I really don't. I don't see him
Chelsea,
working
nope.
for Chelsea. I don't see him working for Newcastle. Like, again, someone said it earlier. He needs to go in a team that play a low block.
Yep.
Not necessarily a team that's going to be like a Bundesliga team that's, not the best team, like a low team, maybe a relegation team, so on. Not that sort of low block, but an Italian low block where he can attack at times. But it needs to be where, again, that Italian type of low block, not necessarily just a low block, like playing for freaking Bournemouth or some shit. Like, that ain't going to work.
Just imagine Kim Min-jae coming to Juve, especially with Bremer, with Kalulu, with all these guys, he could gain also experience from because, Bremer is, I would say, one of the best center backs before his injury in Serie A, if not the best, alone. And with Kim Min-jae on his side, imagine that would be insane, in my opinion, because that's a way better backline than Inter's for sure. If you have me guessing, because like that come on, like Kim Min-jae, he proved it already in Serie A. I imagine he comes back under Conte. We already know how Bremer is. Bremer will come back even stronger after the injury that he had. And after that, we have Kalulu that was outstanding this season. After his injuries at Milan. So it's just like I just have a great feeling for Juventus, and either next season or the season after, that we're going to start competing, and we're going to be once again Juventus that we all know. The old lady will, of course, will come back soon.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's going to come back sooner or later, especially if we get Conte. Conte is the guy that would do the cycle. It will basically, if Conte comes back, we win the first season. Then after that, we'll go after a guy like Jurgen Klopp, somebody else to take over the helm. It'll be like the next step above. That's what we should do. That's my idea. If I was Juve, I would do the same thing. And let's see, because that's supposedly the plan. Get Conte, make him rebuild the squad, make him win us the Scudetto again, win us the titles again, right? And after that, once Conte is like, okay, that's it, we're done with Conte. Next person, Jurgen Klopp to take right over a winning team. Wouldn't that be crazy? And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because our fan base is passionate as well. So, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
And he's going to be playing in the back three as well if you get him.
Yep.
It's not going to be a back two system like Bayern. Again, It's obviously not going to be anywhere near Bayern because obviously it's an Italian-based team and not, attack. Especially with Vincent Kompany's high line as well.
And he likes, Jurgen Klopp likes that work rate, which is good from a striker. So which in my opinion, we have those players, so I think that would really work well for him too. That's why I said, No,
1,000%. But yeah, big up to everybody. Obviously Gio included. Thank you for coming on, man. Again, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Juve Corner Cast. It's in the title and it's in the description, so either one you want to click, please do. We're going to go over now to Zia. He is live. We're doing WrestleMania. We're watching that. And yeah, man. So bless up to everybody. Hopefully everybody has enjoyed watching. Again, if you don't want to watch the WrestleMania, that's fine. With us, go over and make sure you subscribe to Gio. Gio will be live in a couple of hours. And yeah, man, we'll go from there. But yeah, bless up to everybody. Thank you for watching. Last thing needs to be said. Kim Min-jae. Bye-bye.